due to COVID-19 restrictions and lockdown, many business owners were forced to accommodate employees to work from home. And in some cases, they didn't work very well. In some cases, that worked really good. In some cases, they worked excellent. And because of that, people are now saying, well, do we need all this office space, or can we reduce our office space that we use, or do we need an office altogether? Because there's a really good commercial argument for this. If my tenancy cost is lower, well, it's going to bring more money to the profit. And everybody's talking about it at the moment. So to us as business brokers, people are coming and said, look, you know, I tested in the last 2 months and it worked really well, and we're not going back to the other office because we didn't have a lease, to the same office. We didn't have a lease. We're going to go to the smaller office, and we think we're going to save about $50,000. So will that improve our business? In some cases, people are even saying, no, we're going to start working just from home. We won't have an office going forward. Will that improve value of my business? And the answer is yes, if the only consequence of your employees working from home is improved performance and improved profitability, they will improve the value of your business. The question is, will not having an office and will more workforce working from home improve your bottom line? So let's look at the pros and cons of this arrangement. Let's look at the first positives of working from home. To make this easier to analyze, I split the points into positives for the employees and then positives for the business. So from the employee's point of view, the big point is less time commuting for employees. Like if you're in capital city, even if you're not in the capital city, it's not uncommon that you spend 1 hour commuting each way, which 2 hours a day, that turns to be 10 hours a week. That time can be spent much better, so for many things rather than commuting. That will give you more time for your family and friends and private life. And there's some savings in it, some money savings. For example, you don't have to pay money for the commute. You spend less money on clothes. Clothing, for business clothing, you spend less money on lunches and so forth. Like, it's not a big savings, but it does accumulate over the year. From the business point of view, the big one is saving in tenancy cost. In a lot of businesses, the major expense is actually tenancy cost. So if you can save not even full tenancy cost, but if you can save half or 1/3 of it, it turns out to be a really, really large saving. Another thing is better performance. Businesses can get a better performance out of the employees due to less distraction. And the offices are noisy places. There's a lot of distraction going on there. So working from home, some people work way better than in the offices. Improved employees' performance and loyalty. People that need and want to work from home will, in general, really be appreciative of that. They will make sure that their performance is good as they can, and as a consequence of that, you will get a better loyalty business owners will get a better loyalty from people that work with them. Let's look at now adverse points that could affect business negatively due to employees working from home. And in no particular order, first one is how to engage with employees using technology versus face-to-face. We all experienced this over the last 2 months, looking little people, little Zoom people on the screen, and interaction is not just the same. I mean, like, you know, borderline on depression. Affected performance due to employees missing on social engagement with other members. Look, we are social creatures. We need to see each other, and it's not just we don't go just to work for work. It's a big part of our social life. Imagine how your life's gonna look like if you just wake up, go from your bedroom to study, do the work, then go to the kitchen and then go back to the bedroom. There is a big part, social engagement with our team members and going to work is a big part of our lives. There could be lowering of team spirit if the employees and team doesn't see each other as often as they should and interact as often as should. Challenging onboarding, this is a big one. We're all talking here about people, well, we got people that are working for us and now we're going to send them home to work. But what happens when you start a new team member? How's he going to meet the rest of the members? How he's going to get close and how he's going to build the team and become a part of this cohesive team if he doesn't interact often with them. Another thing with onboarding, when we get a new person in any business, it takes about 6 months. That's the probation period, but that's also training. So you may not going to train them for the 6 months, but other people will interact to them. Other people will point them out in the right direction. Other team members will help them answer their questions. They're going to see other team members doing it. Somebody working from home during the onboarding, he won't be exposed to any of that. So it's going to be very, very difficult to get them going. How to manage employees when they work from home. And look, I'm not talking just management, I'm talking supervision and management. And also some people just need to be managed. They want to be managed. They are not self-managed. They need to be told what to do, when to do it. And they operate in those environments much better than when you leave them on their own to make a decision. Collaborative tasks could take longer to communicate. We're in the process of doing one of the websites, and we tried to discuss certain changes on the websites, a few of us over the Zoom, and it took like, honestly, 2 hours, something that could have been done face-to-face in about 15 minutes, because you can print it, you can put it in between people that are working on it, you can asterisk it, circle it, put the arrows, do whatever you need to do. So another thing that we tried is actually recording a conversation so people can go watch it and make a note. So what they've done is 1 hour of recording and then another hour of note taking. I mean, it just extends communication. It gets much longer, which is a waste of time. You're not as productive in some tasks. Challenging supervision and risk management. I touched on supervision, but the risk management is a pretty big one. I really don't know how to do this because supervision mitigates a risk, especially if you've got a few team members working together. They can correct each other. Sometimes you overhear or sometimes oversee, for lack of a better word, somebody doing something, and you can actually intervene and get them to the right track, because some mistakes in some businesses can cost a lot of money. Build workers' compensation. It's an interesting one. Somebody mentioned this to me when I was doing a research. Okay, so when are people at work and when they're at home? How do you? What if I'm working? What if I, for one reason or the other, had to take kids to school or had to take kids to doctors? So I didn't want to take a day off, but I said, look, I won't work first 2 hours. I'm going to work last 2 hours. So what happens if I'm doing some work because I remember it's there to do, and at 10 o'clock at night I do something? Am I working? I'm not working. What happens when I get injured? Really complicated. OH&S issues due to inadequate working environment. Okay, so what about sitting at the dining table or the dining chair for 8 hours? How does that affect your back? And then you take 3 days off because your back is hurting. How does that affect business performance? Interesting. Extra cost of IT infrastructure, systems and procedures. It's not enough just to send people home and say, work from home, here's a laptop, knock yourself out. And some of the big organizations doing it. I've seen a few of my friends are working for the banks, and that's the only instructions that they got how to work from home. Here's the laptop, log on and do the work. There's no procedures, there's no processes, but that infrastructure also costs the money. So this work from home, it's not that easy to do it right. So let's look at now on an example how the flexible working arrangements could affect value of your business. I've got a graphic representation of financial modeling of the business, and let's say that this business, the height of this bar represents a business that turns over, say, $1 million. All right. Red component of this is 100,000 just for ease of calculation, and profitability of this business is 100,000. All right. Now, let's say that the value of this business is calculated on multiple of 3. So it's 100,000 times 3. So that gives us $300,000. All right. That's the value of this business. These are just for demonstration purposes. Don't use this as a valuation for your own business. Now, let's say that you start organizing flexible working arrangements, and that this particular person or this particular business owner halves his rent, and now the rent is $50,000 instead of 100, and profitability increases by $150,000. So the value of this business now is going to be 150 times the same multiplier, and that's going to give us $450,000 value of the business. So in this case, value of the business improved. But we saw what we looked at earlier, the details, pros and cons of working from, having a workforce working from home. It's not that clear cut. So there's going to be some leakage. There's going to be some, potentially, there could be drop in performance. If the drop in performance happens to value of the 50,000, which is really hard to measure, but let's say that happens, well, improvement of the business won't happen. Improvement of the business value won't happen. Let's say that drop in performance goes further and drops by about 100,000. In that case, your profit's going to be $50,000 times 3. That's going to give you 150,000 value of the business. Here's the problem. All right, these are very crude numbers and examples. What I try to demonstrate with this, that you can forward plan. You can forward plan or estimate what the savings is going to be when you save on the rent, but you can't forward estimate what the impact of the performance of your business will be working from home. Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? Or is it going to go sideways? So the buyers, if you just started working from home arrangement and you don't have a proven track record, the buyers won't take this in consideration. They will actually look at the existing numbers. They won't forward project savings due to uncertainty in performance. So what is the conclusion? Will flexible working arrangement and having employees working from home improve the value of your business? And the answer is yes, if done right, and working from home improves the performance of your business. Now, $1 million question is, how do you do that right? And I've done some searches on the internet and some reading about it and spoken to a few people. And look, don't have the answers. I've got some suggestions, what I find so far. One of the big ones is set the expectation for working from home before it starts. So don't just give people a laptop and say, go home and work, but provide a good training and set the good expectations, what's expected from them and working from home and how that's going to work out. Have a procedures and policies for working from home. Facilitate work from home for people that need to work from home. So it's a huge benefit to both employee and employer. If you go to people that need to work from home because of their family commitments or family arrangements, they will be really, really grateful for that. Test and measure performance home versus office. You may gonna find that some people work better if they're at home all the time. Some people work better if they're at the office all the time. Some people work really good if can swap between home and office. Develop management parameters. Development management parameters and systems before you actually send people working from home. A lot of places I find that they talk about daily multiple communication, daily structured multiple communication with people that work from home. So morning meetings, beginning of the work meetings, end of the work meetings, maybe middle of the work meetings. We tried that in our business, and you know, some things work very well, some didn't work so well. Make sure that the working environment is adequate. So there's a bit of honesty on employees now to actually, if you're going to send somebody working from home, that you say you can actually see that they got a good working environment to work from. Put in place risk mitigation systems. It's a big one. I really don't know how to do it. maybe there's somebody out there who can help us with this, but I don't know how. Don't split team into teams. Find that on one of the internet sites, and it's a really, really good advice. If you've got a cohesive team that's working, by splitting it into two teams, two things could happen. That you're going to have a really positive, competitive environment, but that could really turn into us and them and turn into negative competitive environment. So I'm not sure if you should not split them, but be very careful how you do that. And regardless if people are working from home, you have to have a regular face-to-face meetings with them. What regular is, I don't know. For some people, they could be weekly. For some people, they could be monthly. For some people, could be every couple of days. I'm not really sure what that means. So much from me in this video about how working from home will affect your business and your business value. If anyone out there knows more about this subject, please contact me. It's quite fascinating. Whole country's talking about this now. Maybe we can put a good video with some good advices for people out there that everybody can benefit from it. Thank you very much for watching this, and until next time.
Need help selling your business, buying a business, or a business valuation? Xclusive Business Sales award-winning team are here to help. Our experience, skills, expertise and professionalism, backed up by our triple guarantee, is assurance for your success. A large network of buyers and our national coverage will help you throughout Australia in all state capitals and all regional areas. Xclusive Business Sales. Sell your business with certainty.